The route for Ace Bailey to stardom has become clear and easier.
You are Locked On Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
How are you? I'm David Locke. Today's show brought to you by FanDuel. Use your profit boost on any NBA future and get entered for your chance to win an NBA trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. On today's show, it is a Trends Monday. We will look at the trends of the last 10 games, last 2 weeks, and the tank standings to see what's going on with that. The Jazz working on new stuff. Will Hardy's getting this team ready for New Year practice in Houston was really, really interesting. And we start with Ace Bailey's route to stardom, which in my opinion is going two things. One, going exactly as planned, and two, has become much easier to take place. So let's start with as planned. You know, Ace's season this year got derailed a little bit by the illness early. I think his lack of just experience, being 19, life experience. I think of the rookies that came into the league, I would say he was probably on the lower end of life experience than the Cooper Flagg, Con Knipple, VJ Edgecombe group. And we have watched the Jazz amp him up and use him in a way where it's very clear it was organized and planned. And I think that's the first thing that jumps out to me on the Ace Bailey route to stardom. The comp that Will Hardy mentioned a bunch of times was trying to model how both Kevin Durant, maybe in a physical sense, Durant being played as a 2, and how they used Ace Bailey and Jayson Tatum. And if you look back at Jayson Tatum's rookie year, where he's on actually a pretty good team, and he finishes 3rd in Rookie of the Year, it's very similar in 2017-18 to what the Jazz have done with Ace Bailey. Minutes played increases as the year goes on. Usage goes from, on Jayson Tatum, went from 18 to 18 to 18 to 19 to 20 to 23% of possessions. And if you look at Bailey right now and you look at his usage and its growth, that's exactly what's happening. If you look at Ace Bailey's month-by-month usage, 18, 19, 19, 20, 21, 20 right now. Probably March and April going to be exactly where we saw Jayson Tatum's 23% usage in those last 2 months. And what's interesting, and maybe where Ace Bailey's not quite ready to be Jayson Tatum, is that in those months, Jayson Tatum's efficiency skyrocketed. It was the sign that he really was going to be an MVP caliber player. In the 17 games he played in March and April that year, he was able to shoot 43% from 3, not taking a very high volume. They allowed him to shoot a lot of 2s, which again is very similar to what the Jazz are doing with Ace Bailey, is allowing him to shoot a lot of 2s, let him find where he can get his shots, when he can get his shots, and we're seeing that. What we're also seeing from Ace that's of no surprise to me is his efficiency is dropping right now. Ace, in November and December, when he was really playing as kind of, particularly November, as off ball, multiple options ahead of him, Keontae, Lowry, Nurk. He shot 51% from the floor. He shot 40% from 3. Then in December, he shot 36% from 3. His 2-point shooting dropped a little bit, but he really amped his 3s up. He went from almost taking 40% of his shots as 3s. Then in January, his overall percentage went up a good deal for Ace, when we saw suddenly he went to about 36% of his shots as 3s. And now he's even down lower than that. He's taken 41 of 114 shots as 3s. Very similar to what we were talking about. He has such elevation, he can get his shots kind of whenever he wants. His 3's not falling right now. He's 27% in the month of February. We're also seeing Ace Bailey's usage increase in just general shots. So if you look at what he's done in the last 8 games, He's taken 26, 11, 14, 9, 15, and 19 shots. Last night, the other night, he shot 19 shots. He actually went to the free throw line 3 times. There are a lot of things he has to do to get much, much better. And he's got a lot of work to do. The route to stardom is not tomorrow. The good signs are 11 rebounds against Toronto to open the month, 8 rebounds against Miami, 8 rebounds against Portland, 6 rebounds against Memphis. That looks much better. 3 assists a game, probably just about every game right now. Some games with turnovers, some games without. We're seeing a lot of growth there. The biggest thing he's going to have to do, get stronger and learn how to play with contact. When you compare Jayson Tatum was not like going to the free throw line a lot, but he was going to the free throw line more than none. He was going to the free throw line, in February with the free throw line twice a game. Then in March, he amped it up to like 3 times a game. And by April, he went 4 times a game. And he had actually in December started going to the line a lot. Tatum was much more clear a top 5 MVP candidate. I'm not sure that was all going to come together. I'm not sure that Ace Bailey is showing me that he's going to be a top 5 MVP candidate one day. But I am seeing a route to stardom. The skills are there. And now the good news. The acquisition of Jaren Jackson Jr. lessens the pressure on him and is going to make the route easier. Jaren Jackson Jr. will be the number 1 guy on most of the scouting reports. Keontae George, because of his ball handling and amount of time he has with the ball, will probably be the number 2 guy in most of the scouting reports. Lauri Markkanen will move from being the number 1 guy to the number 3 guy on a lot of the scouting reports and is incredibly difficult to guard and handle. This is going to be a real tough matchup. And then Ace Bailey comes into the mix. Ace Bailey is going to be the 4th guy on the scouting report next year. And Ace Bailey is going to have to improve his handle because the team needs him to improve his handle. But all of these other things, Ace is going to be playing with an advantage. We're going to see Ace for the next 20 games self-create. Probably poorly. Fine. He's not supposed to be good at it. We're going to see him play one-on-one. He doesn't have a great handle. We're going to see him elevate into his mid-range jumper. We're going to see him play away from contact. That's how he plays right now. And he's probably going to have, as I thought he would much earlier in this, 5 for 19 nights. But we're going next year, he'll play with advantage almost all the time. He'll learn a lot in the next 2 months, and then he'll play with an advantage coming off Lauri Markkanen action. Defense shifts, get the ball to Ace Bailey. He explodes down the 45 to the rim with what we've seen that burst, off the baseline with that burst. He'll have to improve his ball handling because we have no ball handling. That'll be the main work that he puts in this offseason with Scott Morrison and who is coaches. But we are going to see Ace Bailey next year, after all of the things he learns here in the next 25 games, be the 4th option. And maybe at times you play him in the rotation where he's the 2nd or 3rd option for minutes at a time, and maybe you give him some minutes. But the route to his stardom just got way easier. He's not, whereas Tatum was clear as he progressed through the end of his first year that it was ready to give him the keys to the car and let him go a little bit. That's not clear to me yet on Ace Bailey. It's clear it's all there, but it's also clear to me it's going to take some more time. And frankly, they didn't really hand Jayson Tatum the keys to the car until his 3rd year. He was a top 10 MVP candidate that year, I believe, and was an all-star and 3rd team all-NBA player his 3rd year. His 2nd year, he still, I think, only averaged about 13 shots a game, then went to 18, then went to 20, or 19 and 20 in the next 2 years. So this is the perfect route. If you're following the Jayson Tatum route, is that he gets another year, and Tatum did it on a good team. So this is the route to Ace Bailey's stardom. We're seeing it happen. It's progressing with intention by the coaching staff, and it gets way easier next year, and that's kind of awesome. The some interesting things at practice this week and where the Jazz are coming. Plus, we'll review Memphis lightly next on Locked On Jazz. Monday edition of Locked On Jazz is brought to you by Murdoch Chevy, located in Woods Cross, also located up in Logan. The Chevy truck, oh my goodness, the Chevy truck. We're talking the Colorado. We're talking the beautiful 2026 Chevy Colorado, 3.9% right now, plus the 2026 Chevy Silverado. It's got amazing deals going on for you right now. Let me give you those two deals right now on the trucks at both spots. All right, the Colorado, 3.9 for 60 months or no monthly payments for 90 days when you finance with GM financing. The Colorado truck, awesome. The Silverado truck, the king poo body of them all, 1.9% APR with Turbo Max engine right now. For current Chevy owners and leases, when you trade in an eligible vehicle, you get $7,350 of total value back to you. So great deals on the trucks right now. The 2026 Equinox EV also has a $10,000 cash allowance or 20% below MSRP. So great deals right now at Chevy. Murdoch Chevy, located in Woods Cross, also in Logan. If you're heading out that way, email me first and let's get you set up with your brand new Chevy truck over at Murdoch Chevy. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks, get into the game, pick more or less, and have a fabulous, fun time with Prize Picks on all that's taking place for you there at Prize Picks. Check out the latest deals. Here's what's going on with Prize Picks right now for you. Get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your last $5. That's right. Prize Picks is giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up. So play the first $5 lineup, and Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, every board that more exciting. It's America's #1 app for sports picks. Prize Picks is simple to play. Pick more or less to 2 or 6 player stat projections, UFC, hockey, soccer, whatever it might be. Download the app. You'll be surprised how easy it is. You make NBA lineups around players already follow. Also, social feature where you can see what other people are playing. It's available in all 50 states. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Thanks so much for making Locked On your first listen of the day. Thank you for making us the #1 sports podcast network, and welcome to all the everydayers out there. We love this brand new Everydayer Club. We've built this Discord channel. It is rocking. It's going to be the #1 jazz community out there for you. Love having all of you involved. We got a new member. Reese just got a few new members to our Supercats, our Everydayer Grow program too. I want to welcome aboard our newest member in Taylor Lithgow. Glad to have you aboard, Taylor. Taylor joined for the Discord, got ad-free Locked On Jazz and ad-free Locked On Sports Today for just $5 a month. Use the promo code JJJ to get a month for free. That's JJJ for a month for free. If you want to join the Everydayer program with the All Access, you can join us you get direct texting one-on-one with me. You get my game notes for every game. You get Leaf Tuline's bonus content. You get ad-free for both Locked On Jazz and Locked On Sports Today, and access to the Discord channel. You get access to the Locked On merchandising store as well, and 15% off. It's all for you. That's the Everydayer Club, plus bonus content for you. For $15 a month, Locked On the Everydayer All Access. Go to LockedOnJazz.supercast.com, LockedOnJazz.supercast.com. This was super interesting in practice this week. Will Hardy was putting in a bunch of defensive systems, both a little bit, you've seen a little bit of it, free throw line, half court trap we've been putting in, that we've actually used a bunch of times, and using a bunch of other defensive systems. And I'm watching practice, and I'm watching it take place, and with Nurk out and Filipowski playing center, I'm like, this is just not going to work. And then all of a sudden, it dawned on me. I'm a little slow. Oh, this is when Walker Kessler and Jaren Jackson are in. Oh, we're instituting little pieces of the puzzle for what this is going to look like next year already. And it's pretty exciting. You can begin to see those pieces of the puzzle coming together in a pretty exciting fashion. I don't want to give, I'm granted the access to go to practice. If I sit here on practice and tell you exactly what the game plan is and give it to 29 other opponents who may listen, I will not be back at practice. So I will leave out some of the specifics to it, but it's really, you're beginning to see what Will Hardy and his coaching staff can do if they have a defensive personnel that they can start playing with, putting in systems, understanding, making sure guys are in the right place at the right time on the floor. Very, very interesting kind of pieces to watch that. So I want to just share that with you because I thought it was really, really cool. I owe it to, the coaching staff who's working so hard and the team to not give you specifics to it, but it was really an interesting moment to watch Will put this together and begin to see it be put together in some of these pieces, and you can see it like, if that's Jaren Jackson rotating there, if that's Walker Kessler coming over, you're never getting to the rim against us. It's pretty exciting. The other night, Memphis, the Jazz started Ace Bailey, Cody Williams, Kyle Filipowski, John Conchar, and Isaiah Collier against G.G. Jackson, Taylor Hendricks, Lawson Lowry, Jalen Wells, and Jemiah Mashek. This was not a game that was loaded with NBA future stars. Jalen Wells has proven himself to be a very good NBA rotation player, but probably not the go-to guy. G.G. Jackson has proved himself to be a very good player for these type of games. And our guys didn't kill him. Isaiah was pretty good. Filipowski dominated inside offensively. It was an interesting night. These are really, really eye-opening, interesting nights to see our guys play. So let me hit some of the highlights. Cody, 9 rebounds. Level of aggressiveness is Kyle, 9 of 13 shooting, and was overpowering the smaller guys the way he did in Summer League. One thing I noticed that Kyle's doing and he's probably done this his whole career, when he has a smaller player on him, what he does is he dives kind of toward the basket offensively at an angle. The guy's smaller, so he has leverage. So if you think about Kyle's diving at a diagonal and the guy's underneath the diagonal, the defender kind of has to fade away, and then Kyle's able to get the shot up. What's interesting about this is it doesn't work against a bigger defender. Now, frankly, until Kyle had been in the NBA, he probably had never seen a bigger defender. But this is how Kyle has dominated his entire career down low on guys by playing this really smart angle to be able to make this play. And it works right now because he's playing against Lawson Lovering and some of those guys. But it's also why Kyle's gotten a little better this year. I think he went from 66% rim finishing to 68% rim finishing, and rim finishing in the NBA is down this year. So he's about average now at finishing around the rim. He's a little less good in the mid-range kind of floater area than he was a year ago. He's still trying to figure this out, but he has gotten better at his rim finishing. But this is that was clear to me of kind of where Kyle still has to make a pretty good size adjustment. But it was interesting to see him use that technique to dominate the smaller player. Collier went 9 of 16. He went 2 of 5 from 3. He hunted his offense much more than I've seen before. He only had 5 assists. He had 4 turnovers in the ballgame. It was interesting to watch him. He really has gotten this game figured out for himself of how he's going to play in the restricted area, playing off the little floater area. And he was pretty good. He was 4 of 6 in the ballgame in the floater zone, which is paint non-restricted area. He was 3 of 3 when he got all the way to the basket, so he had a very good paint game. He was 0 for 2 on his long twos. But we're watching Isaiah really learn how to make plays and get where he wants to get to. These games are invaluable for these guys to learn these things. And then Bryce just had a tough day. One of the next steps for Bryce's development is going to be when things don't start right, to find a way to put the night back on the tracks. Right now, when Bryce doesn't start right, it feels as though he goes off the tracks a little bit. The other one that's interesting is this kid, Blake Hinson. He's on a two-way deal. What I'm hearing on Blake Hinson is first of all, he can really shoot it. There was a great moment at practice the other day where Will was kind of upset that they had run a fast break and they had guys in the wrong spot. And Will's like, you put your best shooter in the dunker spot. And everyone kind of looked around like, well, who are we talking about? And it was Blake Hinson was the best shooter. And I'm not sure everybody knew it. He can really shoot. What I'm hearing a little bit on his background is that he's in better physical shape right now than he's ever been in his NBA career or his G League career. He played for the Santa Cruz Warriors a year ago. He averaged 20 points a game. He shot 38% from three. This year he played for Rip City. He averaged 22 points a game. Did not shoot it as well from three, 33%. But that he's in better physical condition right now than he's ever been in his career, and his body's pretty awesome. I mean, it's a 6'8", 225, 230 body. Those are hard to come by. And if he can really shoot it, maybe this kid's got a chance. But it'll be interesting to see. Like, tonight's much harder. Tonight you're playing a Houston team that's elite defensively. You're playing NBA players. This is a great example tonight of whether or not our guys are ready to play. You know, we're trying to be better than Houston next year. So can Isaiah Collier, can Cody Williams, can Bryce Sensabaugh, can Kyle Filipowski play minutes against the Houston Rockets, who we want to be better than next year? It's a very important night for that. Trends Monday is next on Locked On Jazz. Thanks so much for tuning in to Locked On Jazz today. Today's show is brought to you in part by TurboTax. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life this year. TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax Full Service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish, without the stress or the guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with local TurboTax experts in person or connect online. They'll handle everything from W-2s to self-employment forms and work to get you every deduction. You can upload your documents, go about your day, get your updates right in the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver and gives you real peace of mind knowing an expert is handling it. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local tax expert. Just $150 all in if a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year. Just file by February 28th. That's coming up 5 days from now. Take taxes off your plate. Get back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. Ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person? Well, FanDuel is giving you a chance to turn that dream into a reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost for any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered to win a shot to go to the NBA Finals for two. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience. If you're already looking at the board, thinking about what team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock in. Look at the futures, whether it's picking a team to win championship or grab a conference title. It adds an extra layer of the excitement to every game down the stretch. And now you can not only can you pick cash, but you can also send yourself to the NBA Finals. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use the profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, Trends Monday. For those of you who are new, every Monday we like to look at what's going on in the NBA. I find sometimes, even as the NBA junkie I am, I can get lost on what's going on in the NBA when we're not as good. I'll check the box scores, see what's going on, things like that. But I can get lost sometimes, and I find this a nice little kind of reminder every week to take a look at who's doing what, where they stand, and then kind of keeping an eye on it. Or last 10 games. First thing is San Antonio's 9-1. Boston, Cleveland, Detroit are all 8-2. On the bottom end of things, Sacramento's 0-10. Dallas is 1-9. Chicago's 1-9. We're 3-7. Okay. The number one offense in the NBA over the last 10 games, this is interesting, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. So since they got James Harden, that is the number one offense in the NBA. Denver is number 2, which I also think is interesting. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They had a bad loss last night trying to piece this together, but that offense, when it clicks, is amazing. San Antonio's is 3rd best. Detroit is 4th best. Minnesota is the 5th best offense in the NBA, and then the Hornets are 6th. It drops a little bit. Following teams are having a hard time scoring: Brooklyn, Chicago, Phoenix, Sacramento, Golden State, no Steph, Dallas, and Washington. The number 1 defense in the NBA over the last 10 games is Miami, followed by Boston, and then Detroit again, San Antonio again. So those are the only 2 teams in the top 5 in both. New Orleans, then Orlando is defending again, so keep an eye on that. That's probably newsworthy. Teams that aren't defending: Sacramento, they have not all year. Washington, Memphis, Chicago, Dallas, and Portland. We're actually pretty good defensively in the last 10 games because we have our games with Jaren in there. We're the 11th best defense in the league. Overall, last 10 games, the number 1 team in the league is San Antonio at plus 14, Detroit at plus 14, Cleveland at plus 13, Miami plus 11, and Boston at plus 11. Boy, they hammered this last night. Worst teams in the NBA the last 10 games: Chicago, Sacramento, Brooklyn, Washington, and Dallas. Dallas a little unnerving, and Phoenix. All right, let's go to our Cleaning the Glass site because they like to look at the last 2 weeks. So we go to the league summary. And the number 1 teams in the NBA in the last 2 weeks: San Antonio with a plus 30, Boston, Detroit, Miami, Cleveland, all since the trade. This is only 4 or 5 games because of the All-Star game, so this is very limited sample size. Sacramento's minus 30 per 100 possessions over its last 4. Philadelphia. Though Philadelphia, who beat Minnesota last night? Philadelphia? I think so. Phoenix, Chicago, Brooklyn, and Dallas. Here are the teams that are, this is, again, very small sample size. 4 games. San Antonio, number 1 offense. Cleveland, number 2. San Antonio's a 134. Wow. Boston, Detroit, and Denver. Detroit offense being this good makes them feel very legitimate for the playoffs. Sacramento, Chicago, Phoenix, Brooklyn, Atlanta, and Toronto cannot score right now since coming out of the break. No Utah being mentioned in these. Boston is the number 1 defensive team over the last 3 games, then Miami, San Antonio, Detroit, Toronto, Orlando, and the Jazz are still the 7th best defensive team in the NBA just because of the Jaren Jackson games. Sacramento, Philly, LA, Dallas, Golden State, and Washington not defending. The Lakers in there, not defending out of the break. Pretty eye-opening. Golden State still struggling as well. Those are the trends. There's some good little notes in there. Cleveland's offense, Lakers defense, Orlando defense clicking back in. Those are worth watching throughout the week. That is Locked On Jazz today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of the program. We love having you. Tonight, it's the Jazz and the Rockets, a national TV game. I think it's Peacock. I think. So you may have radio only if you do not have that for me and Ron tonight. So we look forward to bringing you all the action and giving you all that insight and sharing it with you and having fun with it, as we always do. So tune in the radio. Interact with us on socials. Send me emails throughout the broadcast. If you've not followed me on socials, it's DLock09. If you've not subscribed or followed the program, please do. And if you want to be a part of the Everydayer program, it's lockedonjazz.supercast.com. That's lockedonjazz.supercast.com. Join the All Access program. Be part of the Elite Club and get one-on-one texting with me. Get interaction with bonus content from Leaf to Lean as well. Also, get ad-free Locked On Jazz, ad-free Locked On Sports Today, access to the merchandise, access to the Discord channel, bonus content, all there for you. Kind of awesome. So fire up for that. That's all at the LockedOnJazz.supercast.com. We now send you the first ever 24/7 national NBA channel, Locked On NBA on YouTube. Also on audio, check out Game Night, every game, every night. And I love Big 3 and 30. It's the biggest 3 stories in the NBA every day.